What's up, everyone? This is Thomas with Keller Williams here in St. Augustine, and today we're doing our first live stream. I've never done this before, so this is going to be my first attempt at it. So if there are problems with it, these are kinks that I will try to work out within the future so that these live streams make a lot more sense. I'm here for people that have any questions. So this would be, if you're just looking to have some questions answered, maybe this is going to be the best place for you. But I'm also going to try and stay relevant on the topics that I've talked with in the past. So I've covered, developing news stories, whether that's going to be like hospitals coming to the area or new residential areas, or what the county is doing in terms of approvals. I'm going to be covering a lot of that, and I'm going to try to make that my focus of these, aside from the questions that you guys might have. So moving forward, if you do have anything you want to ask, if there's something that you want to keep tabs on, these are probably going to be the best videos to watch. So just to dive right into it, I'm going to cover the market stats that I have here, which is, at first I'm going to cover Jacksonville because St. Augustine is kind of a suburb of Jacksonville. And then I'm also going to take a look at the St. Augustine MLS as well. Now, realtors are going to use different MLSs depending on their area. For the most part, within northeastern Florida, which talking Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Palm Coast, that's all going to be the Northeastern Florida Association of Realtors, otherwise known as NEFAR, where St. Augustine and a little bit of pretty much St. Augustine Beach and downtown St. Augustine is just going to be in the St. Augustine, St. Johns County MLS. So it's a little bit different as a retail person. You won't even know just because you're using Zillow, and both of those syndicate all of their information to Zillow. But in terms of a realtor, we're going to look because both of them have a little bit different data and focus on different areas. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, and now we're in the endless looking of StreamYard, but here we'll hop over to the market stats. Now, this is something that I covered on the previous video that I just did, which is a little bit of the market stats that are going on here. Let's see, make sure that it's streaming the right way. Okay, it is. All right, we're looking at the right thing here. So the first thing I wanted to cover is going to be just the market stats. As you can see, in the Northeastern Florida MLS, so this is going to be Jacksonville, Middleburg, Green Cove Springs, St. Augustine. You're going to be looking at a 24% increase in prices from January of this year to January of last year. Now, as you can see, that's different depending on condos and single family homes, but that's just the average of the two there. Just a quick, they have a little blurb here. The main thing to look at is days on market have gone down 30%, which I think it went from 55 days to 35 days on the market, which is pretty much meaning that everything's going under contract within a couple weeks. The worst homes, are selling in a month or 2 months. So what we're seeing here is a climbing market, and there are some issues that are coming along with that. We'll scroll all down here to the days on market here. So you can see in 2020, our days on market was 67. In 2021, it went down to 55. In 2022, it was 34. I'm almost positive before COVID, our days on market were somewhere in the 90s to 100 days on market. So since the pandemic, you can see how our inventory has been squeezed very, very tightly. And I look here, you can see historical days on market here. So 2019, we're up here to 80 days. Okay, so I stand corrected. So going down here to median sales price. Now this is across the entire market. So, there's homes in Jacksonville that sell for $100,000. There's homes that they sell that are on the MLS that are maybe in more rural areas of Florida. So it does skew this slightly, but then you of course have $1 million homes as well in the same area. But this is going to look at the median sale price. If you're going to compare it to years and years ago, 2008, 2009, in that bubble time where the Great Depression happened. We're right past that at this point. Single family homes looks like they're climbing south of 350. So 332 is the average sale price, or the median sale price amongst all properties in the Jacksonville area. Average sale price just under $400,000. This is really important, the percentage of lists received. So you can see in 2020 it was 97.2%. So that means that you could negotiate with the sellers a little bit and that you'd be able to. But in today's world, we're at 99.3%. That's across our entire market. So if you're looking in a specific area, let's say Nocatee, for example, Nocatee is selling at 105% of list price, and there's some homes that are selling way past that. So that's just important information to know. If you're looking in a certain area, you got to know the stats behind it and where you can really negotiate with the seller if you're buying a home. And also, if you are a seller, then this is a way you can negotiate. What's going on, where you can really wiggle in terms of price. So this is going to talk about inventory throughout our entire market here. So we're down here. There's a little bit over 2,000 homes in the market currently. I think it's like 2,050 across our entire market, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, and Palm Coast, where you can see in 2019, we had roughly 7,500 homes on the market. So with at least single family homes. So you can see we're running at about a third or a fourth of what we had several years ago. So that's why we're seeing the prices increase so drastically, because we have nothing available. There's so much demand and there's no supply. And this is the same thing, month supply of inventory. So if we were to stop putting homes in the market today, we'd run out of homes in a month. That's how hot it is here. So those 2,000 homes, they'd be sold within a month, all of them. And you can compare that to several years ago, 2008, 2009. They're saying it would take us 15 to 20 months at that point. So that's over a year, almost 2 years at a certain point. Let me switch back straight on comments here. I do have one comment, but I don't know what that is. Let's see here. Okay, and we're going to switch back over to the St. Augustine. Okay, so you can see here, this is just going to be like northern, or this is just going to be like the St. Augustine area and the surrounding area around St. Augustine and within St. Johns County primarily. So you can see right here, the main thing you want to see is the average sale price. So you see here, average current period 428, 1 year ago 353, and that's a 21% change in prices year over year. So that's, it's going to follow the same exact stats that we went over for the Northeastern Florida Association of Realtors, pretty much that there's no inventory, prices are going up. And, within St. Augustine, we saw 21%. And that also just depends. If you're looking, St. Augustine Beach, that may be a little bit higher than an area that's off Anastasia Island. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at these things, when you're watching my videos, of course. So I just wanted to take a quick second here and just go ahead and ask people, since you are on my live stream today, where are you from? If you're tuning in here today, looking at this, where are you coming from? Where are you watching this from? And if you're thinking about moving here, what's the reason why? So just please take a couple seconds, leave me a comment, and just answer where you're from. And I'd love to be able to hear that. I'll go ahead and I'll move past market stats, and I want to go over to the news that I've seen recently here. So pop that up here, important news. I'm new to this, so I'm trying to figure out how to make it as smooth and clean as possible. But we'll switch it over here back to the screen again, and we'll go over here. I've already got these pre-picked out just because I look at this stuff pretty frequently. But these are the top 5 stories within the past couple of weeks here. So if you are a Gator fan, if you're a college football fan, Steve Spurrier sold his house, which is a $5.8 million house within Ponte Vedra Beach. Beautiful area, or Crescent Beach, my mistake. Oh, wow, that's awesome. So that's actually in town here on Anastasia Island. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize he lived there. The state denies Silverleaf development expansion. So as I've talked before, Silverleaf is kind of going to be the competitor to Nocatee on the west side of 95. And they've already been approved to build like 10,000 homes out there. I think they got approved within the past couple months to add an additional 3,000. And this section here is saying that the county approved it, they sent it to the state, and the state denied it. So it's not necessarily dead in the water. They just have to revise the plan and send it back out. And more than likely, they're going to approve it because, as you'll see as I go through the rest of these news, they're approving things left and right. It has to be right for the county, I guess. This is something that's really cool here. You can see this is on display at the Shipwreck Museum in town. There's a local treasure hunter who just decided he wants to keep all of their stuff within the Shipwreck Museum for you to go check out. I think that's really cool. So there's like silver bars there. He found a 1865 shipwreck. A steamship that sunk in 1865. It's crazy. This is a major development here. St. Johns County advances major development within St. Johns County for 12 acres from open rural to planned unit development for 47 lots, single family home division, Rolling Hills. Development is planned near Kings Estate Road and Old Moultrie. This is actually a weird photo. This is King Street here. I'm almost positive this is. Yeah, King Street. That's not Kings Estate Road. That's actually much further south, I guess you'd say. Go here. So Kings Estate Road is between 207 and US 1 over here. King Street is over here. So I'm not exactly sure why they showed that photo, but either way, they approved that in that area. And this is something we're going to touch on here. They consider a mobility fee because they're trying to figure out what to do with the streets downtown St. Augustine. We have a lot of traffic, and I mean, a lot is relative, but the streets are built in 1500. You know, they're not made to have tourists come in here year long because nothing else is open in any other state. But we'll get close to that. We'll read this one here. One step closer to raising our sales tax. So if you are moving into our area, it's something that's super important to know because our sales tax, it's gonna affect how much your cost of living is. So they're gonna increase it by 1%, and I don't think it's fully approved yet, but they're going from 6.5 cents on the dollar to 7.5 cents on the dollar for 10 years. So we know that's probably never going to go away. So that's probably going to go to 8.5 cents on the dollar by 5 years. But that's a big deal, you know, especially because the main problem that we're having here is the people that live here and don't make a ton of money, they're not getting the remote work. They don't have the money from the home sale of the $2 million house in New York. You know, they just lived here and made the median salary here. They're having a hard time affording what's going on here with increases in prices, gas, inflation, and now you're going to add a sales tax. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I don't think our traffic is that bad to be able to put another burden on people today. But, you know, I'm not the county commissioner, you know, I don't run things around here. So on to our next story here. So look, I talked about how they're going to approve other things. So they're looking at this. They're going to build 3,500 units off Greenbriar, which is in northwest St. Johns County. So they're going to be building 3,500 units out there. This is really in like a more rural area of the county. So they're building all over the place over there, very similar to where Silverleaf is at. So not just Silverleaf, but other planned unit developments are going in all over the place. And you know, if this doesn't get approved, something else probably will right down the street. And who knows, maybe they're greasing the right pockets in terms of who's allowed to do this. But this is going to be off Greenbriar Road and County Road 210. Okay, let me take a quick break here. Let me hop back to my StreamYard here. Let me see if I got any comments here. Looks like Game Stunk. Oh man, I love it. That is fantastic. I wonder if you're holding any GME right now. But moved from Chicago to St. Augustine last July as a renter, trying to buy now, possibly worst time ever. You know, that's to be seen, right? You know, it could get worse. But renting's really tough right now, and also buying's really tough right now if you know you're just getting into the market and understanding things. there are a couple options for people, and if just depending on your price point where you're at, just reach out to me directly. I'd love to be able to help you out because it is a date right now. And the thing is, if you want to live here, it's possible this may never go away. We're seeing so many people move to our area. People know that our area is continually to increase. People are moving from New York, New Jersey, California, where their properties are worth double, and they're coming down cash in hand. The growth of the county is a problem. What's going on? Will the people that live here be able to survive and afford to live here? You have so many people that are essential to the workforce here. I was talking about teachers prior to how they can't really afford to live in St. Johns County unless they're renting a room with someone, which is very difficult. But the other side of that is, if this continues, people continue to move down here. People are retiring, they're moving down here. People have remote work, so now they can live anywhere. And people that are tired of the cold, they're not tied to the city, the hustle and bustle of maybe that's a New York, a Philly, a LA, somewhere up there, Jersey City, something like that, Chicago in your case. And they say, hey, I don't gotta sit, I don't gotta go somewhere else, and I can still get to do what I was doing and live in a place where cost of living is less. That's what we're seeing right now. And honestly, I think it's going to be marked as one of the mass relocations of population here, very similar to how people moved for the Industrial Revolution, because people moved for the Industrial Revolution because of jobs. And now it seems like, well, you can work from anywhere. So now it's more about lifestyle and what you can get. So if you're, unfortunately, if you have lived here, the prices have continued to go up and you're like, man, can I afford to live here anymore? But the one question is, if this continues to go on, people are moving here in droves. Will you be able to afford to live here next year? By buying a house, you're leveraging, you're hedging yourself against that increase. You're setting your payment, so you're going to get, depending on your price range. Let's say you're in the $15,000 to $2,000 a month range. That at least is going to stay that price for 30 years. Whereas your rent, if the market pops, when we go into a down market, rents typically go up because people aren't in the position to buy. So right now we're in a market where prices are increasing, rents are increasing. So what do? That's probably going to be the best situation to buy a house, to hedge against the inflation of rents rising because of prices rising. Because the people are getting forced out of buying, they got to go to renting. So let's say that this bubble does pop and jobs, people start losing jobs. Well, rent is going to go up because people aren't going to be looking to buy a house then and make that long-term commitment. So damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. I totally feel for you, but like I said, I'd love to be able to help out with you, GameStop. Just reach out to me and we can put a plan of action together and hopefully get you into a house sometime this year before that lease runs out. So guys, if you do have any questions, please let me know below. I will answer them as I'm here on this live stream. I have a couple more news stories I want to run through. So I'll keep those up here, but I'll switch back right after the next news story. So if you do have a question, go ahead and leave me a comment below. Okay. Sorry, GameStop, my man. All right. So looking here, the next news story, I got to share my screen. Sorry, new to this. So this is just what we were talking about. St. Johns County development, major development advances, workforce housing okayed. So you can see you're going to outline every paragraph here pretty much. They voted against a proposal to rezone 217 acres. This is over by 207 and Allen Neese Road. They voted to approve a request to rezone 12 acres from open rural to planned unit development for 47. This is Greenbriar, I think, that we were just talking about. 3,500 unit residential development gets the nod. I love how they put that. I swear every time something gets approved, they say it gets the nod, and it just makes it seem like that, like there's no paperwork involved, but there 100% is. Like it's not just like, oh yeah, just go do it. And this is something that's really interesting here. And they put it at the very bottom. Commissioners unanimously approved a major modification to the Benchip commercial plan unit development and a rezoning so that about 20 acres could be rezoned to workforce housing zoning. Property is at the intersection of State Road 207 and Wildwood Drive. So State Road 207 and Wildwood Drive, I actually covered it in, well, not this exact intersection here, but I've covered it with Entrada because it's right here, and I did cover the development on State Road 207. But what they're talking about right here, so there should be a commercial development right on this corner, and they're planning on adding workforce housing. So I don't know, that's not necessarily the best wording you like to see, workforce housing, because that is a problem that we're having today is people are getting priced out of living here. You know, the people that are, you know, your teachers, your people that work in government, your people that work in the tourism industry and the restaurants, they're having a tough time finding a single family house. And that's for sure because prices have really gone up. Now, workforce housing, that just seems like a better word for low income housing, which we just need more housing. I think what we need to do is add way more condos to our area because that's really going to be the first time home buyer scenario in the future here. So let me hop back here, make sure I don't have any questions. Okay, I do not. All right, well, go on to the next news story here, which is going to be a little bit different. Augustine entrepreneurs have planned to revitalize Hastings Main Street. So Hastings is a rural town just west of St. Augustine, still within St. Johns County. So if you're taking a look here, you see the main veins coming through St. Augustine. So you have 207, that runs right through Hastings. And then you also have 206. This runs right into Crescent Beach, right into the Spurriers house right down here. That's where it was sold. So Hastings is going to be more of a rural area. I'll switch it to a satellite map to give you a better idea of where you can kind of see, like, St. Augustine has a lot more concrete around here, a lot more concrete down here. And out here, you're looking at some wheat fields. You're looking at some, some green pastures for sure. But you're definitely going to be able to get more land out here. And with everything developing, with St. Johns County, between St. Johns County and Palm Coast developing all up here on US 1, I mean, it almost makes logical sense that Hastings should start to pop here. So that goes back here to our story. They're looking to revitalize Main Street, which has pretty much been dead for the best way I like this, revitalize the sleepy rural town. That's the best way to put it. But yeah, I like that idea, especially with all the expansion of development going on here. That is right between also Palatka as well, which used to be a booming town in the early 1900s, but they had 2 fires and a freeze that destroyed their citrus plantations, which really put a hurt on the town. But they do have bass fishing tournaments out of Palatka, and they're huge right off the St. Johns River here. But I mean, that's right between here. So St. Augustine and Hastings is really the middle part. But this whole entire stretch is pretty much just open country. So that'll definitely be interesting to see how they develop that. And then I also do have one more story as well, which I did talk about a little bit earlier, where they're talking about figuring out what to do with downtown St. Augustine. The traffic during peak rush hour is going to be kind of bad and gridlock, especially because you have the Lions Bridge going up every half hour. It's funny how these things never seem to mention that, but every half hour that bridge goes up, and it's such a problem for everyone else that's driving around. You let one boat through. I've talked about it before, and I'll get off my soapbox here, but it is a big problem, and it does cause a ton of traffic downtown. Maybe we can move it to an hour. Every hour you can get through. But I'm maybe a crazy person for saying that. Either way, they're talking about widening the sidewalks because the streets can't get any bigger. You can't put 2 lanes, so you may as well make bigger sidewalks, more crosswalks. They've already added rental bikes downtown, which took away more parking from locals, but I guess college kids rent bikes and ride them around, and tourists as well. So that's a good thing. What what do they talk about? Oh, they also talked about a bus that they would have doing a circular tour. So it'd be very similar to like a bus in the city of, any major city, so much smaller. They're talking like a transit van, maybe like a 15 passenger van, something like that. So yeah, so those are all the news stories that I've seen developing here. I want to hop back here, see if there's any other questions here. Look like it. All right. Well, hey guys, unless you have any other questions for me, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this off today. This is my first live stream. If you have any critiques, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'm here for you guys. So if there's anything, that's my goal. I want to good content and value to you. So if there's anything that I'm not doing on here, go ahead and leave me a comment, and I'd love to be able to help out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You know what? I got 3 people in here, and if I had one person, it would be perfect for me. So I'm glad you guys asked me some questions. So I appreciate it. If there's anything else, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night. Hope you guys do the same. I'm here for you. Call, text, or email. I'll figure out how to do that on a live stream here somehow, where I can put that information up here. But call, text, or email, I'm here for you. Okay, it's also in my bio, my information. And if you need to, you can schedule a Calendly link with me below. I'll put that in comments if that works. But nice hanging out with you guys tonight. Have a good one.